discuss the WD Mayo hydraulic electric plant grant. And he happens to be from Denver, Colorado, with the U.S. Department of Interior, Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs.
Okay, would you like to amend the agenda?
I'd like to amend the agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
We didn't vote on the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I still don't know what the actual motion is. I couldn't understand the counselor. What
Okay, we need to vote on the minutes first. I'm sorry
Make a
about
motion
that.
to approve the minutes.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the April 24th minutes, I say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Okay, that carries. Now, Counselor Thornton,
Yes. I'd like to amend the agenda to bring number 5 forward at this time of the agenda.
okay.
Second.
I've got a motion by Counselor Thornton and a second by Counselor Hargis to amend the agenda to move up item number 5 under new business. We'll do that quickly.
Yes, I'd like to introduce Mr. Roger Knight. He happens to be with the U.S. Department of Labor, Division of Energy and Mineral, and he is,
Vote, okay. All those in favor of amending the agenda, okay, say aye. Thank you, Jack. All those opposed? Okay, so
Vote on
we've
the
amended the
minutes.
agenda.
and he's here to discuss the WD Mayo hydraulic plant
Give me just a
we're
second.
considering.
Let me have just a second and ask if any counselors have any specific questions on the reports that were presented in their books, or can we let the department heads go ahead and leave? It's been a long day for them also. If nobody has any specific questions, do we need to vote on that?
I make a motion to waive reports.
Do any of the department heads have something they want to present?
Reports stand for themselves.
Let the
so
reports stand?
She
Okay.
can stay. Rest of you can leave. They want to stay. Okay.
Madam Chair, was Counselor Thornton presenting more on this issue because we have no documentation, or is it to the gentleman that's in front of us?
The gentleman that's in front of us, we've already received funding from him. And federal government. He's let us know what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Knight? you've
Hi
got the
there,
floor.
I'm Roger Knight. I'm with the Division of Energy Minerals out of Denver, Colorado, and I wanted to speak to you, introduce myself, and introduce our group. We've been involved with the Mayo project since 2009, when we gave you the first grant to help you on this project. We've put in over $2 million into this project, so we're one of the most committed to getting this thing done, of the people around. And so what we have is we have other funding that is going to be coming up here. We've got some earmarked funds for hydro. And so I wanted to introduce our group, tell you what we do, and then make sure that if you had any questions or had any thoughts, or get assurances from you that you guys would be committed to do this project. So when we will have this application within the next month, Councilman Thornton will be given a resolution and for that, because we need one for our grants, and to move it ahead so we possibly can get you some more funding to help out to take this project to where it's shovel ready, something ready to do.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The only thing that I would request is a copy of whatever existing environmental impact statements we have, including any minimum flow requirements.
All right, with that, the CNB will have all of that. And so the minimum flow, we'll design this power plant to handle the minimum flow or what it can do, because that's a regulated, and everything is very, related to barge traffic. And so what we need to do now is do more of the design, finish up the environmental work, and then with the powerhouse, design the power, the turbines, and what they will need to be in. And so that will all be on the actual flow. And so the Corps of Engineers has, several years worth of flow data.
Okay, so just to make sure, I'm thinking through the question, is that Oklahoma itself doesn't have any minimum flow requirements in terms of water quality standards in general, but what I'm hearing is, because it's a navigation system, there's minimum flow requirements, so on the output side, we will have to maintain minimum flows.
Well, the minimum flow comes through the whole system, so it's about 26,000 cubic foot a second is what they need for barge traffic. So that will be the rough range of the minimum flow that will be going at all times.
Thank you very much, I appreciate your time, thank you. So is that something CMB can provide us, is those environmental impact statements and such?
It should.
Do I need to FOIA it?
Let's try to do it without one, see what
Yeah,
happens.
I can't give it
I
because
know.
it's trust. Anyway, what we'll be doing is, basically for our purposes to know that you guys really are interested in the project and we think it's going to go ahead. Of course, it's all based on economics. We put in a lot of risk money to get this to the point where we think it's good. And then we'll be providing more economics to show that it could be profitable to the nation.
Yes, Counselor?
Thank you. I can't speak for the entire body, but what I'm hearing is there's potentially money on the table very quickly for a project we're already invested in. So are we needing some kind of resolution or vote of, I don't know what the agenda says, some type of action, vote,
I
or
think that-
motion?
CMB's trying to come forward with the resolution.
Yeah, we'll
I think
become,
what he's mainly looking for is, the majority wanting to carry this forward. And, but the resolution, there will be a resolution coming on it.
we have a pending resolution so we can get all the stuff that we talked about yesterday into it. I just need for our group to know that, if there's any serious dissenting or something that we work all throughout the United States on all kinds of energy projects. So I just, as long as we have something that's kind of positive, then I can go back and when we.
But I guess I'm unclear. Can we wait till the resolution or you need something today?
No, we can wait for the resolution.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I just wanted to present ourselves, tell you what it is. It's important to me because we put in so much money, and I've talked to some of the councilmen, but not to everybody. I talked to the principal chief today, and so, all I need to do is when we go and we have this money, that I can go to our people and say, they're interested in this project. We need to go ahead and potentially fund more.
Thank you.
Counselor Stick?
I'd like to make a recommendation that, that they get with Sean Slayton from CMP, and they come back next month and report with us with a proposal, pros and cons of this, or however long they need to get back with us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Counselor Buzzard?
You said you've been working on it since 2009.
That's when you applied for the first funding from us.
Just briefly tell us what you've done up to this time.
Well, we put in $2 million.
Yeah,
And so
before.
that, for me, that's important, because what we've done is we've done preliminary studies on the flow. We've done the modeling, which is one of these go, no-go steps, where they went up and they built a scale model of the system, and then the Army Corps of Engineers went and ran their test barges through it. So that's a very critical step on if you can't design it properly, that it could be dead then. So we went ahead and put our money into that because that was important. And then we've done preliminary modeling computer modeling of the flows and what it can do. And then we've also done preliminary power assessments and then some preliminary economics to move ahead on it. So
So you sound to me like you feel like this is a workable project.
Well, I know the DOE considers it one of the top 8, and we deal with the tribes all over on a personal basis, and so we know the projects, and I think it's better than top 8. I think it's one of the best ones. Like I said, I was in Alaska last week, I'm here today, and I'm going to Maine tomorrow, or next week, so we're cover the whole U.S., and so we do know projects, and so I think this is one of the better projects that could really help the nation.
Counselor Keener?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Knight, when you say our group, our people, our money, is that the DOI, DOE?
It's a DOI. So we're higher in the food chain. We're under the Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs, Office of Economic Development. So we're not under the BIA or BIE. And so we have grant money. And when I've only been here about 9 years, all of us have been consultants or private practice or engineers on the side or in our other life. But we started out with like $400,000. And now we've worked up to several million, but not double-digit millions. So when we give out money, especially in the volumes, in the amounts that we gave you, it's, to me, it's very significant that we could come up and prioritize that. When we get 70 to 80 proposals in every year when we ask for recommendations. So we also have funded your wind project back in the olden days. So we'd put some money into that also. So we feel very comfortable with you guys and what the nation's energy plans are and economic development.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Counselor Fulbright?
Thank you. This proposed hydroelectric plant is in my district, and not only are we supportive, we're highly supportive of it, and I think everybody on the council is supportive. It would bring a lot of jobs, and it'd just be a win-win for everybody involved. And last week, I went to a conference of the 4 counties, 2 in western Arkansas and 2 in eastern Oklahoma, with all the mayors. And the mayor of Fort Smith, Arkansas, he's working with the Corps of Engineers and Congress to try to improve the channel from a 9-foot channel to a 12, all the way from the ocean all the way up to Catoosa. And a lot of it has already been changed. Do you know anything about any of that? It would increase our barge traffic so much.
No, ma'am. And just knowing that what we've been through, I don't know anything about deepening it, but the flow will be the same. And so they'll always have that flow, and it's regulated through, I think, 30 or 33 lakes and the dams. And this is the only one that does not have a powerhouse on it. So everything the Corps regulates flow and makes sure that barge traffic is covered.
It's a great location for it. I wish that someday we could get a road across the river there. I mean, we want to go over to the park across. I mean, it where we are, you like a 35-mile trip, and there it is, the Spiral Mounds on the other side. But anyway, we're proud you're here, and that you made time to see us. Thank you.
Ma'am.
Good report.
Counselor Snell?
What's the total cost of this project?
Right now, we're probably talking upwards of 150 million or more for the total project, and it should be about 30 to 33 megawatts. So it'll be a significant addition to the power grid, and should be this very substantial income to the nation.
Are you doing a 100% finance, or do we come up with half of it, or portion of it, or what?
Well, we don't do financing. If you think of us as an unpaid consultant for you guys, that's what we are. We'll help you try to get financing. I've talked to people that are interested. We've talked to WAPA and SWAPA, the transmission and the purchasers. And so when we get down to it, you guys, it's up to you to how to finance it, but we can try to help bring people to the table and work with you on any contracts or any agreements that you might have, just because of our broad experience throughout the nation.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Knight. Oh. Did you have?
Now, does this power generation, does it have 2 generators in it or 3?
Right now, it's not finalized, but probably 3.
3.
So,
Now, the one we went down to Arkansas and looked at, you was down there.
Yes, sir.
and, wasn't that 2 generators or?
I can't remember if it's 2 or 3, so.
Okay.
What we'll do is this is part of what we'll be trying to do on this next phase, is doing the actual powerhouse plan. And so the technology is better now, the impellers and the turbines are better. So all that will be modeled and then worked with the turbine manufacturer to see what is the best to maximize production on for the different flows. And so that'll be part of our design that moves ahead.
I really appreciate you coming down and talking to us.
Well, thank you for seeing me.
Going to CMB yesterday and visiting with them. And I think we may have something on the horizon here, and it's up and going, so I don't think we need to turn any funding down.
Very few tries
I
to.
know that the federal government is really interested in this green energy, and I know that I've heard that they're trying to put together grants through the federal government to produce this type of generation. So, thank you for coming.
Yes, well, that's one thing, we've been lucky is we've been highly thought of and bragged about within Indian country, and our budget has actually gone up when everybody else has taken hits. So that's where we're getting extra money, and that's what's got us excited. And, you know, we don't want to have a opportunity like this go away because we didn't communicate with you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. We've all got your card. I assume we can email you or
Anytime.
call you. Thank you for being
I'm
here.
an oil field, I'm 24 hours a day.
Okay, seeing as our treasurer is still here, I just want to say I appreciate your report, the charts, seeing how quickly you're paying the bills as a business person. I'm thankful for that, and that may be one of the reasons our business rating went up. So I just want to commend you on that. Yes, Counselor
Hey,
Watkins.
Treasurer, I got a question about our electric bill. What's the average cost on that, across the complex and all that? Okay, sounds good. I'll get with you on that. Thank you.
Any other questions of our treasurer? Okay. Is Sean Slayton still back there? Yeah. I swear, I looked up right.
He walked out. Let's go next one.
Adjourn.
Diane Kelly, did you have something you wanted to share with us?
I always have lots of stuff. I'm tired.
Make it brief, we're tired too.
So if there's something that I didn't tell you, I'll just say that I'll pass this by.
Okay. And Anna has already left. Okay, let's go on to consent items. Is the tarot certification in the book? Current?
Move
Are
to
there
approve.
any? We have a motion to approve. Can I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Have a motion by Counselor Karen Watts, a second by Counselor Snell. All those in favor of approving the tarot, say aye. Aye. Is there any opposition?
You can't leave John.
The cemetery preservation assistance. Has everybody looked at that?
There is a new list that was handed out before the meeting. So.
There is a new list that ends with Alberti Cemetery. Is that correct?
Yes.
I have an
Yes,
addition
Counselor
to
Hargis.
that. I need to add Sand, S-A-N-D Cemetery in Chewy, and Eva Manning is the contact, and she's gonna get the paperwork.
Okay.
Gail has it, I think.
Okay, are there any other additions to that?
Move for the approval.
Okay,
Second.
Counselor Garvin, the approval, Counselor Karen Watts on the second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Moving right along. Community assistance.
There is a new list handed out on that. The last one on the list is Cherokee Nation Foundation.
Okay, wow. Counselor Jordan?
From Cherokee District 1, 2, we're splitting $500 to the Cherokee Nation Foundation.
And Counselor Busser?
Yes, Jody, I'm from Hardee's. There's 10 M that didn't make it, but I need to add to $500 to J School for Native activities, $250 to Marie Wallace Museum for organizational support. And I'll see that those get in. They should be here.
Okay.
Mail probably gonna have it.
Move for the approval.
Just, Counselor Baker had a question. Harley, 250 to what?
The Marie Wallace Museum organizational support.
Okay, Counselor Baker?
Yes, the last item that's on the report that was handed out, Cherokee Nation Foundation, the total should be 15,000 with 7,500 each.
Okay.
Julia and I, and it's for scholarships.
So it's each, not split, okay.
Right.
Okay, and then on Salina Head Start, Counselor Snell, did we agree to split that, or am I paying all of that?
No, we're good.
Okay, that should be $250 each for Counselor Snell and myself on the Salina Head Start.
Now I move for approval.
Okay, Counselor Garvin, do I have a second. Counselor Cowan, Watts, second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Law enforcement.
We're good.
There's no changes. I mean, what's in the book is the latest.
Move to approve.
Second.
Counselor Cowan, Watts to approve. Counselor Garvin to second. All those in favor? Any opposition? Roads.
Okay, we've got a whole bunch of them this time. I don't know if you want me to detail them, but I do have one change that came in late for Counselor Snell. Wanted to add $30,000 to Indian Road in Delaware County under his motor vehicle tax funding, and he does have plenty of funding for that.
That's good.
So with that
Move
change,
for the approval.
Counselor Garvin moves to approve,
Second.
and Counselor Hargis second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? How about sports teams?
There's a new handout. The last one on it's the Naturals. And let's go against Sequoia County.
Are there any additions to this list other than what's handed out?
Move to approve.
Second.
Counselor Callan
Motion
Watts moves to
second.
approve. Counselor
Baker.
Baker second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Livestock?
There's, we do have some funding, or we do have a couple that are waiting, but we run out of funding. And that's in the budget mod coming up. So if that budget mod goes through, we'll have some more additions next month to add to it, so.
Okay. So, to approve what's in the book,
Right, yes, I mean,
Move to approve.
Counselor Callan Watts and Counselor Hargis on the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? There's no old business. Let's move on to item number 1. Counselor Lori Jordan, would you take that for us?
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the development and submission of a grant application to the Department of Justice for a Second Chance Act comprehensive community-based adult reentry program utilizing mentors. And I would move for its approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this grant? Okay.
I have a question. I was reading through this, and is there anybody here to answer questions?
Yes. Kelly, I believe, can.
Yeah, what do you need to know about it?
I know our current reentry program, it's just for newly released individuals. Do we, is this going to help only newly released, or will it help those that have been released maybe 6 months ago, or?
A lot of it is going to depend on how it's written. Kim Carroll is writing that, and it's supposed to go in, I think it has to go in tomorrow or Monday. I'm not really sure about the date. I know we're trying to get it in, that's why we're trying to get the resolution. We'll be able to change it up from the one that was funded, the $25,000. We're asking for, I think, $993,000 over a period of 3 years, and it will have a coordinator, manager, and I think 2 employment counselors and 1 vocational person. And then there will be mentors stationed in all the different locations of our offices, and they'll be working with behavioral health and the mentors through the Department of Corrections. And they'll
Will
be
it
doing
be
the training.
possible that we can help those that have been out a year or so, and, because, I mean, that's the
If the
biggest complaint I
criteria-
get, is that we have nothing to help them.
A lot of it is going to depend on the criteria in the Federal Register as to what they're giving us guidance on and how we have to write it. And I'm not really sure, but I know that it is a little different than the one that we're operating right now.
Okay, thank you.
Council Fulton? Oh, I did too. Anybody that wants to be added as a sponsor? Anybody not want to be added? Okay, would you let everybody please, Shelley? Okay, let's vote on, okay, except for
Do
David.
you want to be added or not? I'm joking.
All those in favor of this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
If there's any opposition? Next one is a resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation Warehouse to donate surplus office equipment to Locust Grove Police Department. These are some chairs for their lobby, and I would ask for its approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Counselor Calvin Watts moved to approve, Counselor Garvin on the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, this is a budget mod. And Jody, would you mind to go over this with the whole group, please?
First one is Capital Mod 6. There's only one item in it for $167,130. It's basically a reconciliation of carryover balance in the Muskogee Clinic Capital Projects Fund. We're not moving any money or anything. It's just a reconciliation of what's in the fund to remain there, so, for that purpose.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Counselor Vargas and Counselor Baker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Moving on to the second budget modification, it's item number 4, modification 9.
Yes, modification 9, there's grants reporting of $361,738. You'll notice in that section A, there's the cash match. There's some additions this month. One is in the May reporting of $13,153 on vocational rehab service, and you guys had approved an application for the youth shelter. That's a pending use of those funds right now. That'll leave a $520,000 balance in the cash match. In section B, there are 7 budgets. Increase the budget authority of $2,853,238. Items 1 and 3 are related. That's the livestock auction funding that I'd mentioned earlier. We're going to transfer $15,000 out of our general fund tribal council budget to the livestock funding budget. Item 2 is Heart of the Nation. It's a general fund. New budget requesting expenditure authorization of $11,015 to be funded by C&B for the Million Hearts National Initiative to prevent 1 million heart attacks and strokes by 2017. There's some additional narrative that was attached with the budget to give us more details, but basically C&B's funding this, so it'll be money in from them and the expenditure authorization for $11,000 to spend. Item 4, competitive projects. DOI self-governance modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $10,000 The Ottawa tribe is the lead administrative trustee for the tribes involved in the Tar Creek Superfund site, and we received a check from them for $10,000 from the Sarco bankruptcy settlement, and these funds are to be used for restoration planning. Item 5, self-governance registration, DOI self-governance, modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $41,182 to cover 4 temporary employee positions and related supplies. Item 6, contract health service, under IHS self-governance health, modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $2,676,041 per IHL self-governance funding agreements, amendments 3, 5, and 7, and those are attached to the budget. That's additional funding coming in from IHS for collections they've made for us on third-party funding. Item 7, dental, IHS self-governance health, modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $115,000 related to the dental crown program. The revenue will come from increased third-party revenue collection for these patients.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion by Counselor Hargis and a second by Counselor Vasquez. All those in favor of approving this budget mod, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Are there any announcements?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, may I have a second? Second. All those in favor of adjournment? Any opposition?